$18 billion. That is the number shaking boardrooms from Toronto to London, a figure echoing across Africa, and a sum no one believed possible for a country like Burkina Faso in just 2 years. $18 billion in gold revenue. For a nation whose entire GDP barely matched that amount before 2022, this is nothing short of a revolution. But this story is not just about money. It is about power, dignity, and the rewriting of Africa's resource destiny. Before we dive deeper into this incredible story, make sure you subscribe to the channel. We bring you the kind of stories you won't hear anywhere else, raw, unfiltered, and game-changing. Don't miss the next one. To understand this shock, we must look back. For decades, Burkina Faso was a gold-rich land where the wealth flowed everywhere except home. International mining giants arrived with promises, carved up the country like a birthday cake, and exported raw gold worth billions while Burkina Faso collected a meager 3% in royalties. Trucks filled with gold dust rolled away under watchful guards, heading for ports, refineries, and foreign vaults. Meanwhile, Burkinabe families struggled to survive on less than $2 a day. It was the same story told across Africa. Raw materials out, finished goods in, poverty in between. The old system was brilliant for everyone but Burkina Faso. Foreign companies enjoyed contracts that insulated them from oversight, tax breaks that starved the government, and profits that dwarfed even the oil barons. For Burkina Faso, it meant dependency, underdevelopment, and humiliation. Then, in 2022, Captain Ibrahim Traoré entered the stage. Many thought it was another African coup, another power grab. But Traoré's revolution was not about a palace. It was about the soil beneath it. He asked a question no leader before him dared. Why are foreign companies walking away with the lion's share of profits from our gold? The math did not add up, and he decided to change the equation. The turning point came with the creation of SOPAMIB, the Société de Participation Minière du Burkina. It looked ordinary on paper, just another state agency. But in reality, it was a weapon of sovereignty. Through it, the state began reclaiming control. 5 major mining assets, including those operated by industry heavyweights like Endeavour Mining and Lilium, were taken under national management. No longer would Burkina Faso accept crumbs. No longer would its resources be an open buffet for outsiders. The move was surgical. Contracts were renegotiated, foreign operators were told the rules had changed, and mines in dispute were simply taken over, like the 2 contested by Endeavour and Lilium, resolved by an $80 million nationalization. Investors were horrified. Share prices tumbled. Analysts warned of collapse. But the collapse never came. Instead, revenues skyrocketed. From 2022 to today, Burkina Faso has generated $18 billion in gold revenue. A figure equal to the country's entire GDP in earlier years. For the first time, real money was flowing into national coffers, building schools, roads, and power plants instead of foreign mansions and offshore accounts. Yet the real twist was not the money. It was the technology. For decades, multinationals had built a system of dependency. They insisted that only their engineers could manage complex geological assessments, only their specialists could maintain the heavy machinery, only their expensive proprietary software could plan mines. African countries were meant to dig, but never to know. But when these companies pulled out of Burkina Faso, they left behind operating mines. And the government refused to let them fail. Within 18 months, Burkinabe engineers were trained to perform tasks once monopolized by foreign consultants. Local technicians learned to repair machines once guarded by corporate secrecy. Mine planning software worth hundreds of thousands in license fees was replaced with open-source alternatives and cheaper tools from Russia and China. Local colleges joined in, building new technical capacity. Burkina Faso had broken the knowledge monopoly. The West predicted failure. They expected empty mines, halted operations, and desperation. But the mines kept running. Revenues kept growing. And the world kept watching. Mali, Niger, and other Sahel nations began asking dangerous questions. If Burkina Faso can do this, why can't we? The old excuses, that Africa lacks expertise, that Africa must beg for capital, sounded hollow. Traore had lit a fire that could spread. But this is not just about gold. With $18 billion at its disposal, Burkina Faso suddenly has options. Economic independence translates into military strength, diplomatic freedom, and bargaining power. A country that funds its own security forces is no longer at the mercy of foreign aid. A government that controls its revenues can negotiate partnerships on equal terms. The resource once used to keep Burkina Faso dependent is now a weapon of sovereignty. Still, history warns us. Africa is filled with stories of oil and diamonds turned curses, fortunes squandered, and billions vanished in corruption. Can Burkina Faso resist this fate? Early signs suggest yes. Traoré's government is channeling revenues into infrastructure, education, and diversification. Gold wealth is being used to build what Burkina Faso needs for tomorrow: roads, refineries, power grids, and skilled workers. There is emphasis on local refining, jewelry manufacturing, and industries that capture value beyond mere extraction. This long-term vision could turn temporary wealth into permanent transformation. But pressure will mount. Multinational companies are not surrendering quietly. International institutions and powerful governments are uneasy with this precedent. If Burkina Faso succeeds, others will follow, and the colonial-era economic model may unravel. Expect legal battles, diplomatic pressure, even destabilization attempts. The stakes are continental. Yet, a precedent has already been set. Burkina Faso has proven that Africa can say no, that sovereignty is not a dream but a choice. That dignity can be defended, and wealth can stay home. $18 billion is more than a statistic, it is a message to the world. Captain Ibrahim Traoré, the young soldier who seized power in 2022, has done what many thought impossible. He has shown that a nation dismissed as poor can challenge global corporations, rewrite the rules, and win. The gold shining under the Sahel sun is more than mineral wealth. It is proof that Africa's independence can be real. The question is no longer whether African nations can take control of their resources. Burkina Faso has already answered that. The question now is whether others will find the courage to follow. Will Africa's leaders embrace sovereignty or remain shackled by dependency? This is not just about Burkina Faso's gold. It is about Africa's dignity. It is about breaking chains that have lasted centuries. And it is about proving that prosperity belongs first and foremost to the people of the land. Drop your thoughts in the comments below. If this story inspired you, don't forget to hit the like button, share this video, and subscribe for more untold stories that reveal the real Africa and the world beyond the headlines. The gold revolution has begun. And this is just the beginning.